a lot of this developments in the geopolitical side and in the macroeconomic side certainly has resulted in investors really thinking a lot harder about how they want to deploy their capital. And I think it's a general phenomenon. Whenever people see sort of more uncertainty, more unpredictability, they may want to diverse a little bit more. And so I would say that while they are rethinking their strategy, how they may want to reallocate some of the capital, the fact that we are able to sort of give them a channel to deploy this capital and this very exciting pipeline of IPOs certainly have grabbed their attention. So I wouldn't sort of say whether or not we benefited from it, but I would say that through the work and all the improvements that we've made to the market in the last year or two, we certainly now stand in a much stronger position to grab these opportunities.
We're also keeping track of the sluggish Chinese economy. Is the weak fundamentals that we're seeing that it's not bearish for the markets?
Okay, so I guess at the end of the day, capital markets is really to serve a very basic function, which is to match capital with opportunities. And therefore, if you ask me, the fact that we are seeing a lot of very strong volumes, a lot of very active participation in the Hong Kong IPOs for companies which are mainland companies predominantly, certainly points to the fact that a lot of investors globally are very excited about what these companies may be delivering in the future. And so I think it's very difficult to generalize whether it's and I'm not an economist, so it's very difficult for me to comment on the state of the economy itself. However, I would say that if investors take a longer view, a longer term view, the action, meaning their participation in our market and in our IPO certainly suggests that they see a lot of promise on the horizon.
Geopolitics and tariffs bring volatility and uncertainty. President Trump, is he making Hong Kong markets great again?
Well, I think, like I said earlier, right, what is making the Hong Kong market very strong is the fact that we are seeing the return of interest from international investors. The other thing which is also happening, I should mention it, it's the fact that we are also attracting a lot of money from the mainland Chinese investor pool. And I think this is a very good thing because our role as a superconnector role, we want to stand in the middle and really match opportunities both onshore and in the mainland China and with the rest of the world. So the macro picture is quite complex. There are many things happening, but suffice to say that if we go back to the fundamental, we really are in a very strong position for now to do this matchmaking between investors and companies on the mainland, as well as investors and companies in the rest of the world.
Metals trading remained strong in the first half. President Trump has expanded his 50% steel and aluminum tariffs now to include 407 additional product types. How do his policies impact trading on the LME?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it's very hard for me to comment on his policy, but I would say that the fact that investors are seeing maybe a little bit of uncertainty or unpredictability, usually what we will see is the volatility will spark off quite a bit of turnover, right? So people want to actively manage their risk, and therefore trading activity could, as a result of these uncertainties, actually elevate. Therefore, year to date, we're seeing very strong volumes at the LME and across many different metals. Now, whether or not this phenomena will continue is very hard for me to predict. But suffice to say that we are doing all we can to make sure that we continuously make improvements to the infrastructure so that, you know, anytime investors want to either take a position, manage their risk, we have the infrastructure to enable them to do it.